General Hospital will reveal the final days of May 2025 and Port Charles will be anything but ordinary, as the town braces for 3 must-see moments on General Hospital. The story begins with a shocking twist involving Sasha, who seemed to have finally found some peace after a series of traumatic events, but now finds herself facing a court summons. No one can quite predict the reason behind this legal move, but it's clear that her past is about to resurface in front of both the law and the public. Meanwhile, Sonny, a man who has weathered countless battles in both shadow and light, makes an emotional plea to Willow, a woman caught between loyalty and heartbreak. Their connection, never simple to begin with, now becomes the driving force behind a series of escalating events. But that's not all. This year's Nurses' Ball, long associated with glamour and surprises, is set to deliver not only dazzling performances but emotional bombs hidden beneath the surface, ready to explode and shatter facades and long-buried secrets. What's about to unfold won't just be dramatic television moments, they will be turning points that reshape the future of a community forever bound by love, betrayal, and ever-twisting schemes. Sonny's unexpected olive branch to Willow arrives at a moment when she finds herself at an emotional breaking point, a time when grief, confusion, and guilt are spiraling beyond her control. With Michael's whereabouts still uncertain and her own faith in everything she once believed in beginning to unravel, Willow is caught in a whirlwind of heartbreak that threatens to consume her. In the midst of this emotional chaos, Sonny, a man who has often been the embodiment of both ruthless power and surprising compassion, takes an uncharacteristically vulnerable step forward. The drama had been building for weeks as tensions surrounding the custody hearing reached a boiling point. Carly, always the protective lioness, had insisted on handling the upcoming trial herself. Despite Sonny's attempts to intervene, the mob boss, usually a master of control and strategy, found himself powerless to stop her. His concern wasn't just about the courtroom, it was about the ripple effects it would have on the fractured Corinthos family. Carly's refusal to step back wasn't just a legal maneuver. It was an act of defiance that could potentially alienate Michael even further. And with the emotional gap between mother and son already widening, the stakes had never been higher. Now, with all the family dynamics in flux, Sonny turns his attention to Willow. Seeing her not only as the mother of his grandchildren but as the crucial bridge holding together the fragile remains of his once unbreakable family. Willow, however, is drowning in sorrow. The illusion that Michael had abandoned her in Germany continues to haunt her every waking moment. What she doesn't know, and what Sonny suspects, is that the man orchestrating her emotional downfall isn't Michael at all, but Drew, manipulating the narrative from the shadows. As Sonny steps into the hospital corridor where Willow has been pacing, half in fear, half in fury, he makes a bold move. Rather than confront her with accusations or demands, he pleads with her, earnestly, almost desperately. He urges her to delay the court date, to give things a moment to breathe. To allow the truth to rise naturally instead of forcing a confrontation in a courtroom that might do more harm than good. His voice carries a weight it rarely does, not the command of a mob kingpin, but the genuine concern of a grandfather, a father, a man who sees his family fracturing beyond repair. Willow is taken aback. She had expected anger, blame, perhaps even manipulation, but not this. Not Sonny extending an olive branch in the form of patience and understanding. Still, her heart is heavy with doubt. As far as she knows, Michael didn't even care enough to see her in Germany. That belief, planted and nurtured by Drew, has become a cancer on her soul. But Sonny's plea plants a seed of doubt, a whisper that maybe, just maybe, there's more to the story. And in that moment, as Sonny watches her wrestle with the burden of everything she's lost and everything she might still lose, he silently hopes that his intervention was not too late. Because what neither of them realizes yet is that the truth about Drew's deception is closer to exposure than ever before. If Willow follows Sonny's advice and puts the trial on hold, she may finally have the time and space she needs to uncover the web of lies Drew has so carefully spun, and in doing so, she might just begin the long journey back to Michael. And to the family they both still hold dear, even in silence. In the upcoming week on General Hospital, one of the most compelling storylines to unfold centers around Lulu and her relentless pursuit of the truth. Long regarded as someone who doesn't back down from a challenge, Lulu is once again stepping into dangerous territory, driven by an instinct she can no longer ignore. After months of carefully observing Brooklyn, she has begun to piece together fragments of a secret, one she suspects could have major consequences not only for the Quartermain family, but also for the entire web of relationships surrounding them. Brooklyn, always quick-witted and guarded, has managed to conceal something for far too long. But Lulu knows the cracks are starting to show. And this time, she is ready to pry them open. What makes this mission different is that Lulu is no longer alone. Cody, still scarred from the revelations about his own past and the lies that shaped his identity, has thrown his support behind Lulu's efforts. For him, it's not just about exposing a secret, it's about standing up for the truth he was once denied. There's a shared sense of betrayal that binds them. A quiet understanding between two people who know all too well what it means to be deceived by those closest to them. Cody's resourcefulness and connections bring something invaluable to the table. And together with Lulu's sharp instincts, the two form a formidable alliance. Their investigation leads them down a twisting path of whispers, half-truths, and overlooked documents. Then, a breakthrough. They stumble upon intelligence, subtle at first, but undeniable, that points to the existence of a child whose identity has been deliberately obscured. What Lulu suspects, and Cody is beginning to believe, is that Brooklyn may be hiding a connection to someone very close to them all, perhaps even someone who doesn't know the truth of their own lineage. The implications are massive. Meanwhile, Tracy, ever the matriarch and master of strategic manipulation, has launched a quiet mission of her own. She's tasked Jason with finding her great-grandchild. A search she believes to be straightforward, unaware that her target may have been right under her nose all along. That great-grandchild is none other than Gio, the young man whose presence in Port Charles has stirred confusion, admiration, and now, resentment. Gio, still grappling with his place in the world and unaware of the full extent of the secrets surrounding him, is beginning to foster a deep-rooted resentment toward Dante. What once felt like the foundation of a respectful, if occasionally strained, relationship between them is now eroding into bitterness. Gio senses that he's being lied to, not just by Dante, but by an entire system of adults who seem to know more than they let on. He can't quite articulate it, but something within him is boiling. A distrust that's no longer vague or passive, but active and seething. As Lulu and Cody close in on the truth, they realize that what they uncover could do more than expose Brooklyn's secret, it could unravel years of silence, denial, and manipulation within one of Port Charles's most powerful families. The revelation that Gio is Tracy's great-grandchild would upend not just the Quartermain family tree, but the emotional balance within the Falconeri household. Dante, once revered by Gio as a role model, may soon be viewed as a symbol of betrayal, the man who stood by while Gio was denied his identity, either through ignorance or willful silence. What happens next could fracture families, destroy trust, and ignite rivalries with consequences far beyond anything Lulu or Cody imagined when they first began this search. For Lulu, the quest for truth is no longer just about Brooklyn. It has become a battle to give someone, perhaps Gio, perhaps even herself, the dignity of knowing who they really are. And as the shadows that have long obscured Port Charles begin to lift, the question remains, once the truth is revealed, who will be strong enough to live with it? In the emotionally charged week ahead on General Hospital, one of the most intense and heartbreaking moments will revolve around Sasha as she spirals into a state of panic unlike anything fans have seen from her before. After surviving addiction, grief, and mental health breakdowns, Sasha has fought harder than most to piece her life back together, inching toward stability one painful step at a time. But just as she begins to believe that she might finally have control over her own future, a legal summons sends her crashing back into the chaos she worked so desperately to escape. The week's preview clip gives a raw glimpse into Sasha's unraveling mental state. Visibly pregnant, emotionally frayed, and physically trembling, Sasha confronts Jason in a moment of pure desperation. Her voice, usually composed even in adversity, trembles with a blend of fury and fear as she demands answers about why Rick Lansing has called her to testify in the custody hearing involving Willow and Michael. This confrontation is not just about the court order, it's about the cruel intrusion of old trauma into her present. Sasha, who has tried to shield herself and her unborn child from stress and conflict, is now thrust into the epicenter of a family war that she never asked to be part of. What makes the situation more gut-wrenching is the sense of betrayal she feels. Rick's decision to subpoena her feels like a calculated move. A weaponization of her past trauma under the guise of legal necessity. Sasha, once manipulated and humiliated in the public eye, now finds herself once again being used as a pawn in a game where the stakes are higher than ever: custody, loyalty, and personal redemption. The pregnancy adds a haunting layer of vulnerability. Sasha is not just fighting for her own peace of mind, she's fighting for the future of the child she carries, desperate to protect them from the same chaos that nearly destroyed her. Her panic is not irrational, it's rooted in memory. Being called to testify dredges up the horror of her breakdown, the time she was institutionalized, and the countless times others exploited her pain for personal gain. The mere mention of standing in a courtroom again triggers flashbacks of cameras, whispers, and judgments. And worst of all, she is terrified that her name will once again be synonymous with scandal rather than survival. Jason, who has always been a figure of calm resolve and quiet strength, finds himself at a loss. For all his stoicism and tactical brilliance, he is unequipped to ease the torment Sasha is experiencing. Her rage, though not directed at him personally, lands like a gut punch. She trusted him, trusted that he would protect her from exactly this kind of ambush. Now, in her eyes, he's just another person standing by while she is pulled back into the abyss. Beneath Sasha's fury is a paralyzing fear, fear of being judged, of being blamed, of unraveling again in front of the world. The courtroom she is being forced into is not just a place of law, it is a stage where her dignity and sanity are being put on trial once more. The weight of that realization causes her to spiral. Unable to comprehend why, after everything she has endured, she must now become collateral damage in someone else's legal war. What's more tragic is that Sasha's role in the case is shrouded in ambiguity. Why Rick believes her testimony is essential remains unclear. Does he intend to undermine Michael by bringing up Sasha's past? Does he suspect that Sasha holds information about Willow's parenting? Or is he leveraging Sasha's connection to Michael to inject emotional volatility into the proceedings? Whatever the reason, Sasha is being forced to confront a reality she tried to leave behind. And with her unborn child's well-being now hanging in the balance, the stakes have never felt more terrifying. As the week progresses, Sasha's outburst will have repercussions. Not only for her but for those around her. Jason, visibly shaken, will be forced to reassess his own role in the situation, and others, perhaps Willow, perhaps Michael, may begin to see just how devastating the cost of this trial truly is. Sasha's panic is not just a moment of personal crisis. It is a mirror reflecting the damage that unchecked ambition, legal warfare, and emotional manipulation can inflict on those caught in the crossfire. In the end, Sasha's breakdown is more than just a dramatic moment. It's a painful reminder that healing is fragile, that strength can be misinterpreted as stability, and that even the strongest survivors have their breaking points. And as the courtroom drama draws closer, it becomes devastatingly clear that Sasha is not just fighting for herself, she's fighting not to be broken all over again. The week of May 19, 2025. Promises to be one of the most explosive and emotionally charged in recent General Hospital history. As the highly anticipated Nurses' Ball returns, not just as a glittering celebration of talent and charity, but as the backdrop for deeply personal crises, shocking revelations, and the unraveling of tightly held secrets. At the start of the week, Lucy finds herself in the eye of a storm. Known for her unrelenting energy and love for spectacle, Lucy has always carried the weight of the nurse's ball on her shoulders, but this year, the burden feels heavier than ever. A brewing crisis demands her attention. And while details remain shrouded in secrecy, all signs point to a disruption that threatens the very heart of the event. Whether it's a logistical disaster, an unexpected performer scandal, or something far more sinister, Lucy's reaction will set the tone for the days to come. Her resilience will be tested as she scrambles to protect both the event's integrity and the fragile unity of Port Charles. As midweek approaches, the stage lights come on and the performances begin. The nurse's ball dazzles as always with its signature blend of heartfelt tributes, emotional melodies, and unexpected comedy. Beloved characters step out of their usual roles to sing, dance, and celebrate life in all its messiness and beauty. It's a brief respite, a reminder of community and connection, but beneath the surface, tension hums like a wire pulled too tight. Smiles are forced, eyes linger too long, and the air is thick with the knowledge that something is about to snap. Then comes Friday, and with it, the chaos no one was prepared for. The curtain may still be up, but the illusions begin to fall. According to early reports, several shocking revelations are set to detonate, emotional bombs that could forever alter the lives of multiple characters in Port Charles. The specifics are closely guarded, but whispers suggest that secrets involving parentage, betrayal, and long-hidden truths are on the brink of being exposed. These aren't just gossip-fueled twists. They are truths with the power to destroy reputations, shatter relationships, and redraw family lines. What began as a charitable celebration transforms into a battleground of emotional reckoning. Lives will be upended, loyalties questioned, and alliances reshaped. By the end of the week, Port Charles will not look the same. The nurse's ball has always been a place of transformation, where hearts are opened and truths embraced, but this year, it becomes a crucible where characters are forced to confront who they really are when the spotlight fades and the masks fall away.